So I was actually getting ready to do my makeup and then film the video, and then it dawned on me, why don't I just apply the products that I'm going to talk about as we go along in the video. I do have multiple products of each category because I am a beauty junkie and I love my products, but at least you get to see how some of them look like on the skin, and we kind of get to build a look together. I wanted to mention base products and sunscreen, which will bring us to this step of my look, because I have just applied my base, which happens to be a tinted sunscreen. It's the Avene Complexion Correcting Shield. This is 100% mineral sunscreen with a tint. I'm wearing the shade medium, and I found the best method of application to be the fingers. The warmth of the fingers helps spread the product out. If I use too much of it, it can look a little bit thick. So it's a little product at a time, really warming it up with the fingers and working it into the skin can get a really beautiful result. There's a light, a medium, and a dark. What I like about the shades in this is that they have more of a yellow undertone. Even the light shade has a more olive yellow undertone, which I find extremely hard to get. This contains 15.6% zinc oxide and 12.5% titanium dioxide. It also contains vitamin C and E for a little bit of antioxidant protection. It gives quite a bit of glow. It has a really beautiful medium coverage. It sits on the skin really well. It does have hydrating ingredients in it as well, like sodium hyaluronate and ceramides, a little bit of glycerin. If you have drier skin, I would recommend using a moisturizer underneath. If you have more combination oily skin like me, you can get away just using this straight after your serum. I'm a big fan of the Avene mineral sunscreens. I actually have their mineral sunscreen for the body that I've been using for the past year. I find mineral sunscreen to be a lot better on my skin. My skin tends to be quite easily irritated, especially on my face. I find a lot of chemical sunscreens tend to break me out. But the one negative thing about mineral sunscreens, especially the ones that go on the face, is that they tend to have a bit of a white cast. This being tinted kind of takes care of that problem. I would actually like to see this in more shades in the future. This is a newly launched product. I'm hoping that it does really well and that they could expand the shade range. In Canada, you can grab this at drugstores all across the country or online at beautyboutique.ca or londondrugs.com. And if you want to try this, I currently have a giveaway for this on my Instagram. I'll be giving away all 3 shades, so make sure you check that out. I'll have a link to the giveaway in the description box below. It'll be up for a week. While my philosophy on skincare doesn't really change, like the ingredients that I gravitate towards, they don't change from season to season. I stay pretty consistent in that department. My skin is combination oily, and it stays combination oily for most of the year. I am going to be doing an updated skincare routine video in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to be blabbing on about my routine as a whole in that video. But the 2 skincare products that I've been using this summer that have really helped out my oily skin, have helped keep the oils at bay, have been this Biologique Recherche Dermopore Serum. I bought this because it claims to shrink pores. I have noticed no difference in pore size, but this does do a really good job at balancing out my T-zone. So instead of using like a makeup primer with oil controlling capabilities, I've just been using this serum underneath my regular hyaluronic acid serum. I just do like a drop on my forehead, a drop on my cheek, and then a drop on my chin. A little bit goes a long way, and I find that when I do use this, my T-zone is not as oily as usual. Instead of a moisturizer, I've just been using this aloe-based gel. This is the Rejuvi Skin Healing Gel. So at the step where I would be applying a moisturizer on top of my serum, instead of going for a traditional moisturizer, I will just use this gel. And for me, this is nourishing enough. If my skin happens to need a little bit more moisture, I will just use a moisturizer, but that doesn't happen that often. For summer evenings, I have 2 foundations I wanted to mention. The first is the Dior Face and Body Foundation. I have been absolutely loving this foundation. It has such a beautiful satin finish to the skin, but if you have more oily skin, your oils will kind of shine through a little bit to give you a little bit of glow. I've just been really happy with this. I don't think that this is suitable for dry skin. I think if you have dry skin, you might want to check out the MAC Face and Body Foundation. I've done wear tests of this on my Insta stories, so if you want to check that out, I have it in one of the highlights, in the makeup highlights of my Instagram profile. You can also wear this during the day, just on top of a regular sunscreen. I think if you like Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua Foundation, you will really like this as well. I think that they are quite similar in finish and coverage, but I much prefer the lasting power of this product. If you want a medium full coverage and you want more of a matte finish, the YSL All Hours Foundation is a great option. This is actually the foundation that I wore on my wedding day. And I actually have a couple of videos in which I was using this, including me recreating my wedding makeup. So if you want to check this out in action, you can see one of those videos. I've definitely been cutting down on my face powder usage, but I still need a little bit of setting in my T-zone just to ensure that my makeup will last throughout the day. As you can see, the Avene Complexion Correction Shield has quite a bit of glow, which I really love, but I do want to knock it back just a little bit in the T-zone. And these have been my two favorite powders this year. This is the By Terry Hyaluronic powder. This is a loose powder. I find it to be a lot more effective used in very, very small amounts just in the T-zone. So I will just take this tiny little Wayne Goss brush, very, very gently dip it into just some of the powder that is left on the lid. I tap off the excess on the back of my hand, and then I just very, very gently pat it in the areas where I want to knock back the shine. So a little goes a long way with this powder. I have really grown to love it. I was so disappointed by it at first because I was using so much more of this. I even tried to bake with it before, which I would not recommend. If you are a pressed powder girl and you like a little bit of extra coverage in your powder, this mineral powder from Pure is really, really great. I like to use this if I have any blemishes. So I like to use this again with a small brush, this area here, because I have a blemish in this area of my face as well. This is where I have a lot of my acne scarring. So I like to use something with just a tiny little bit more coverage, just make things look a bit more smooth. Next up, let's talk bronzer. I have really surprised myself with the bronzers that I've been gravitating towards this summer because they're a lot lighter than the ones I was using last summer. And they're actually quite similar. We have the Clarins bronzer. This is from their 2018 summer collection. This is a matte bronzer. I like the fact that you have quite a bit of each shade, so you can get a really customized bronzer application depending on where your brush hits the compact. And then we have the Lilah B Bronzer. This has more of a sheen running through it. I get a really nice, subtle, lit from within type of glow. And I think for this video, I'm gonna use the Lilah B one just because you could see me use the Clarins bronzer in my last two Get Ready With Me videos that I did. So I'm gonna switch it up. I'm just using my MAC 187 brush and I'm just applying the Lilah B bronzer. I like to go in like a 3 motion just all around my face. Compact is absolutely beautiful. It looks like a pebble. It has really nice weight to it, but it does not have a mirror and it gets really dirty. My bronzer brush is larger than the little compact, so it always gets all over the place, which drives me a little bit crazy, but it's a beautiful, beautiful product. Next, let's talk cheeks, blush and glow. These two have been my most used blushes so far this summer, and then I have a palette that has blush and highlighter embedded. But first, let's talk about the blushes. We have Marc Jacobs Kinks and Kisses. This is such a pretty coral pink shade. I'm such a big fan of the Marc Jacobs Air Blush formula. It blends in effortlessly no matter what brush I use. I never get a patchy application with this. It's one of my favorite blush formulas of all time. The next blush is a new release from L'Oreal, and this is the best drugstore blush that I have ever tried. I have been using this every single day for the last week and a half, and I won't stop wearing it. The packaging is a little bit annoying. I mean, you do get a mirror, but it's at the bottom, so we have the mirror at the bottom, and then we have another layer of packaging, and then we have the color. But this is the color Fantastical from the Paradise Enchanted collection from L'Oreal. It smells really good. It smells like bubblegum. There was a bubblegum that I was eating as a child that smells exactly like this. So it is a very pleasant, nostalgic moment for me every time I smell this. Might not be your cup of tea depending on how sensitive you are to fragrances. This is such a gorgeous orangey coral shade. It has a very, very subtle shimmer running through it, but it's not chunky. There's no detectable chunky glitter in it. Mixed with a warmer bronzer, it just gives you the most beautiful warm summer glow. Then we have the Becca Chrissy Teigen palette, which was released last year, but it's still available. You can buy this at Sephora, and it is a wonderful product for travel, especially. You get quite a bright shade of blush here, 2 highlighters and a bronzer. The only thing I never reach for in this palette is the bronzer. I don't know why. I do like the formula of Becca bronzers, but just this color does not do me any favors. This blush is called Hibiscus Bloom. It is really intense. So if you want something a little bit brighter, a little bit more pink, definitely give this a try. They have a color very, very similar to this in their regular blush range, so you don't have to get the palette if you want to experience a beautiful Becca blush. But these 2 highlighter shades are absolutely gorgeous. I actually like mixing them together, and I think today for this video I'm going to use the L'Oreal blush with the Becca highlighters together. I just wish the mirror of this was on top. I hate having to keep flipping this over, but it is nice that we get a mirror with it. Oh, this blush makes me so happy. I like to wear it a little bit higher and a little bit farther up than I do my usual blush. And I'm going to mix the 2 highlighter shades from the Chrissy Teigen palette. Dust off the excess a little bit on my hand. I have acne scarring on my temples, so I have a little bit of texture there, and I don't want to highlight that texture. So I never go too high up into my temples with my highlighter. I like to just keep it condensed just here. If you are on a budget and you still want that golden glow in your life, the Master Chrome highlighters from Maybelline are fantastic. I also really like the NYX highlighters, but the Maybelline ones pack a little bit more punch. They're a bit more intense, which is why I prefer them for the summertime. This is my favorite one. It's in the shade Molten Gold. This looks so beautiful paired with the L'Oreal Fantastical blush, so this is a very, very solid drugstore cheek combo. If powder highlighters are not your thing, I have 2 cream ones that I'm absolutely obsessed with. First is the Marc Jacobs Fantasy Dewdrops. I use these in my peachy rose gold Get Ready With Me video. I love this product. They have this in a lighter champagne shade as well, but there's just something about this intense rose gold shade that enhances bronzed skin so beautifully. You could also mix a drop of this with your foundation primer, your moisturizer, or even your foundation. If you have drier skin, mixing something like that in with your skincare or your base product will really amp up the glow. And then this is the gloss by Luxe. This is a face and body highlighting stick. I like to use this on my body. I do find this to be too dark for my skin, but if you have a deeper complexion, this will look unreal on the face, on the cheekbones as well. I like to use this on my legs and on my shoulders. It just gives a hint of bronze and a beautiful subtle shimmer to the skin. I like to take this big Marc Jacobs foundation brush and I buff it into the skin. For eyeshadows, I am not going to talk about single eyeshadows because 90% of my single eyeshadow collection is gold, bronzy colors that I guess are summery colors, but I just wear those year round. I love warm eyeshadow. But since we live in a very eyeshadow palette obsessed world right now, I thought I would give a shout out to 3 eyeshadow palettes. The first is actually a dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I love the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, but if you've been holding out, you haven't purchased the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette yet because you've kind of been on the fence, there's a dupe in town. This is the Rimmel Magnif'Eyes eyeshadow palette, the Spice edition. The pigmentation is beautiful. The pale shimmery color in the Rimmel palette is actually better than the Urban Decay one. And they also have a really pretty golden brown shimmery color that is not present in the Urban Decay one that I would always kind of supplement with a single shadow in my collection. The other 2 palettes that I've been wearing a lot have been the Marc Jacobs Fantascene. I find myself using every single one of these shades regularly. Every time I pull this out, I end up using every single shade. I feel like I really get my money's worth out of a palette when I reach for every single shade. And I never thought I would like pink eyeshadow until I got this palette. I've been using this all over the eye so often, and I love the way it looks. And this is the latest palette from Urban Decay. It's the Born to Run palette. And I think if you have a lot of traveling to do this summer and you are a makeup enthusiast, this is the palette to have in your life, because you can achieve any look you will ever want with this. You have greens, you have blues, you have bronzes, you have this beautiful magenta, this warm matte shade, some purples. It really covers a lot of ground. I am a creature of habit, so these colors have been my most used, but I am planning on getting a little bit more adventurous and maybe doing a darker smoky eye on a night out. Today I'm actually going to use the Riff shade in the crease with a little bit of the Still Shot shade. I love mixing crease colors. I'm just doing a subtle daytime thing, so we're not going too crazy here, but you definitely have the option to go as crazy as you want with this palette. So this is with Riff and Still Shot in the crease. Then I'm taking this Stranded shade on a MAC 217 brush. This has such nice shimmer running through it. I'm just tapping this all over my eyelid. Then I'm taking my Laura Mercier crease brush and this deep shimmery brown called Double Life. I took this palette with me when I went to Costa Rica because I thought that I would be really inspired and maybe do, you know, like an emerald green smoky eye on one of the nights there. And lo and behold, I just use these every single day because old habits die hard, guys. Just going to finish up the eyes really quick with mascara. I don't like waterproof mascara. I know a lot of people reach for waterproof mascara in the summer. I used to as well, but it always just gave me such a hard time when it came to removing it. I was always like losing eyelashes. I was constantly tugging at my eyes. I have really fallen in love with the Glossier Lash Slick Mascara this summer for lengthening and separation, and this will not move in the heat and the humidity. It never transferred. The best part is that it was easy to remove. Now, if you want more volume, this mascara layers beautifully with a volumizing mascara. If I am going out and I want that false lash effect, I will actually layer this with something like Lancôme Monsieur Big or the Lash Paradise mascara from L'Oreal. Once a lip product junkie, always a lip product junkie. If you're not a bright lip girl, I do have two of my favorite nudes that I'm going to start with. Now, these are not summer exclusive colors for me. They're definitely colors that I would reach for year round, but since these two are matte formulas, I do like to wear a gloss on top in the summertime. And first we have Tom Ford First Time. I don't know why I'm always swatching in the world's most awkward position. So let me just redo that. This is Tom Ford First Time. If you want more of a traditional nude pink, Sugar Pink from the new Burberry Lip Velvet Crush formula is more of a nude pink. It's a little bit paler than the Tom Ford, and again, looks stunning with the gloss on top. This formula is the most comfortable, most beautiful matte lip formula that I have tried. I love using this on top of my matte nude shades. This is the Becca Liptuitive Glow Gloss. I think this is limited edition as well, but this is summer in a tube. It's a clear lip gloss. It has a very, very subtle pinky purple shimmer running through it. It smells so good. It smells like summer. It has a beautiful coconut, almost like a coconut suntan lotion scent. It doesn't have any color payoff or anything. It's just a beautiful gloss. This is the type of gloss for people that hate lip gloss because it's just so insanely comfortable to wear, and you will not feel like you're wearing a sticky lip gloss on your lips. Next up, we have the newly launched Clarins Water Lip Stains. I have been wearing these a ton. This one in particular. So initially I was drawn to rose and red, but in reality, I've been wearing the orange the most. These are really beautiful. You can definitely customize the intensity of them. You can do one sheer layer, mix them up with other colors. You can do 3 layers of this if you want more of an opaque finish. I like to mix them with other lip product. The red mixed with the orange is really pretty as well. They fade beautifully. They will not dry out the lips. One thing to keep in mind with these and with any lip stain, your lips have to be exfoliated and really moisturized before you apply them. Otherwise, it's like applying fake tan to dry skin. The pigment will cling on to dry skin. This is the Rose Water shade. It's such a gorgeous bright pink. This looks beautiful with my other favorite lip product from Clarins on top. This is the Clarins Lip Oil in Candy. I wear this year round, so it's not necessarily a summer essential for me, but these two together are so pretty. Such a beautiful bright lip for summer. So over here we have red water, rose water, and orange water. And see, even after I used a makeup removing wipe on them, the stain is strong. The stain will stay behind. I'm gonna go in with orange water. It has a little brush applicator, smells really fruity. So I like to just do 1 coat just to stain my lips and give me that nice orange base color. This is the Color Re-Shine lipstick from L'Oreal. This is in the color Luminous Coral. This is such a lovely lipstick formula. Hydrating, sheer, has a really nice shine to it. So this is Luminous Coral from L'Oreal on top of the Clarins Orange Water. One of my favorite everyday lip combinations. If I want something bolder, let me take this off. See, even if I remove that L'Oreal lipstick, the orange stain is still left behind, which I really love. This gives it looks like I've just been eating a popsicle. Anyway, so I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna go on top with the YSL Liquid Color Balm in shade number 5. This was in my spring beauty essentials video, but you can take your spring essential right into summer. This is a really pretty bright coral. So when I layer it on top, not only is this really nice and balmy, gives me a bit of shine, but it gives more of a bold, super comfortable coral color. So this is the Clarins Orange Water with the YSL Liquid Color Balm number 5 on top. So this is kind of my summer 2018 look in a nutshell. Glowy skin, subtle gold eyeshadow, warm tones. Don't forget to let me know what your favorite summer products are in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.